Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Why We Love Gaming. This is Jirard the Completionist. I haven't done one of these in a long while. Not because I don't like doing them, but because I am very fascinated in hearing other people's stories. I think that my stories they're important to me, right? But I don't know how, far we can really go with as many stories as I've had. So today's story is about a game. And not so much about a game specifically, but so much what the game ended up doing for me and a lot of character building that I thought I went through. So today's game is Kingdom Hearts 2, which honestly, when I think about it, I don't really... thinking about Kingdom Hearts 2 now, it's kind of non sequitur to what the game is or what the point of the game and the morals and theming behind the game is, which I find very fascinating. But these events did happen, and it changed me for better. And this is kind of I dubbed this story the origin of the beard, if you will. So here we go. I was 18 years old. I was a senior in high school. I had just got out of a serious relationship of 4 years with my high school sweetheart at the time, and it ended pretty poorly. A lot of it was my negligence. A lot of it was teenage angst, just not knowing what I was doing with my life. I was acting and performing a lot and writing and doing films, and I had a lot going on in my life, and I knew what I wanted to do, and our paths just didn't line up. So, we broke up. That remix though. We broke up, and I kind of started looking to dating other people, and I ended up dating the sweet girl for about 6 to 8 months, and it didn't work out. But for some weird reason at the time, I went into a very depressive state, mostly because I think it was the first time where I really felt like my young heart, if you will, was broken. And it wasn't really sad, because I put a lot into the relationship with this girl, and I did a lot of crazy romantic things for her. I did a lot of putting myself into the relationship, and I don't know why. I think it was an insecure thing. Thinking back now, I think I just wanted to make someone else happy, to make myself happy, and that's not a way to live. That's not you can't be happy by making someone else happy. Sure, feeling good about yourself and doing good things for other people feels good, but at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself, and I definitely wasn't doing that. So in this relationship not working out, a lot of the events that kind of led to it was ex-boyfriend drama. A lot of it was family situations on both mine and her end, and I made an extra effort to always be there for her and to make it work. And in the end, it didn't work out. I think a lot of it didn't work out because I just wasn't her type. I forcefully made the relationship happen. I don't say force as in like force, but I did things to try and make the relationship work. I tried to be a nice guy, and I tried to be like extra nice, and that obviously didn't work. But this story isn't about that. This story is about the aftermath of that, because I didn't really... I played a lot of games growing up, obviously, as you guys know, but when I got to high school, my gaming career, if you will, kind of came to a standstill. A standstill, rather. I didn't play GameCube games. I didn't play PS2 games or Xbox games. I had a few, I had all three, but I didn't really play them as much as I played my older games. And so new franchises that came along, I rarely got invested. And Kingdom Hearts 1 was one game that got me super invested, but I didn't play anything else. Later on I ended up playing a lot of Guitar Hero, but other than that, I really just played Super Nintendo games and the classics that I grew up with. So my buddy Jeff and his girlfriend at the time were really worried about me because I was super emo. I was super depressed. To give you guys a reference, I had Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy on repeat, all their greatest hits, mixed in with Linkin Park and some System of a Down and some ska music. So I was a ska kid and I was in a ska band, so I had that mix going out all the time, and I was very mopey, and I was really thinking about it now. It's really sad because I had no reason to be depressed. Things were great. I got into some colleges, I had great friends, I was sad because my heart was broken. And that's, sometimes a bummed heart is a bummed heart, and that's what it is. Just time heals stuff. But one thing that did happen was my buddy Kyle went with me to Best Buy, and ironically the one that I ended up working at. We went to Best Buy, and lo and behold, Kingdom Hearts 2 was there, and I had no idea it was there. I had no idea the game was out. So I grabbed it, and I went back to Kyle's place, we booted it up, and we started playing. He had no idea what Kingdom Hearts was, and I explained it to him, and he was interested. We played maybe 2 to 3 hours worth, and he was like, okay, this seems a little convoluted. And I go, yeah, that's true, but the story's great, and it's kind of crazy, and I like it so far. So, little did I know that eventually my heartbreak kind of merged with my connection with Kingdom Hearts 2, and I ended up playing this game for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and eventually I just grew this beard, and I didn't want to get rid of it. I liked the beard. I thought it suited me well. And Jeff and his girlfriend kept coming to my house, and they kept trying to get me out of this depressive slump. They'd come in and they go, oh, you're playing Kingdom Hearts again. Did you finish it yet? And I go, yeah, I finished it. And they go, why aren't you done? And I go, I don't know. I like playing it. And this kept happening over and over and over again throughout the summer. When I graduated, they'd come by and they go, what are you doing? And I go, playing Kingdom Hearts 2. And they go, why are you doing that? You already beat it. And I go, I don't know. I just am. And eventually it got to a point where they sat me down and they go, you have a problem. You need to stop. And they were right. I did have a problem, but the problem wasn't with my heart. The problem wasn't with Kingdom Hearts. And the problem wasn't with me so much as it was about where I was going. I realized that at that point in time, I had no idea what I was doing. In the beginning of this story, I told you that in high school, I was well-focused, and I had a career, and I knew where I was going, and it took weird turns in a relationship to kind of throw me off kilter. And I realized that I am who I am because of who I am, but without a relationship, I was no one. And that was a bad way to live my life. I lived myself through other people, through making them happy, and I was able to kind of move past that and kind of figure out more or less who I was for the first time. Mostly because when you're 18, you think you know everything, and then you go to college and your life changes dramatically. And so I realized that gaming was more important to me than I had known. And Kingdom Hearts helped me get through that, not only heartbreak, but more of an identity crisis. And I connected a lot with it too. Actually, now, thematically, I think about it a lot more than I knew, with Roxas and being a nobody and the Heartless and Sora, and just kind of getting lost in yourself as a human being, I think kind of was what the moral that I'm kind of teaching myself in this story. And hey, not every story on Why We Love Gaming has to be about a moral or story. Why we love games, why we love gaming, it's the same thing to me. But I think I learned a lot more about who I was. I learned, that I can be funny and charming and smart without, needing to please someone. I can just be me, and that's enough. I can be super in shape, or like I was in high school, or I can be overweight like I am now. Which obviously I'm working hard to change because I don't want to be unhealthy. But being you is enough. And that's something that not a lot of people say enough. Being you is perfect. You don't need to change yourself to make someone happy. You don't need to be someone else to make someone else happy. Being yourself is more than enough, and that is something I learned from this. And as weird as that sounds, that's something that I think is incredibly important. So, yeah, I think that's my story. Hopefully it wasn't too tangent for today. But hey, let me know what you think about today's story. Tweet at me. Let me know what you think. That's my question to you guys. What game got you out of a situation like that, where you were kind of confined to this emotional stress and then you overcame it and succeeded? That's not something that a lot of people go through, obviously, but games, I tend to live my life, this sounds so much like a Vin Diesel quote from Fast and the Furious 7. But I tend to live my life one game at a time, and that sounds so bad and so cheesy. But it's true, especially now considering what the Completionist is and what I do every single week. But I do live my life in games, and those games kind of define who I am. Obviously, you know, things like TMNT 4 and Donkey Kong Country 2 and Kingdom Hearts 2. And so, you know, what's your defining game for you that kind of helped you find out who you were? You know, that's a good question. So on that note, guys, I don't really get to talk to you guys one-on-one like this. I kind of wish I could more often, but we'll see. I have some ideas in the work. Thank you for supporting the Completionist. Thank you for supporting That One Video Gamer. Thank you. I can't say that enough, truly and honestly. You know, I'm very lucky. You know, we're all lucky here what we're doing, and without your guys' endless support, you know, I don't know what I would do. So thank you guys again. Have an excellent day. Don't forget to answer that question of the day. Talk to me about it. Let me know. And I'll see you guys next time for another episode of Why We Love Games, Story Through Gaming. I might not be here. It's probably someone else. But hey, my channel will see you in the future. See you, bye.